Past a second, making an adjustment. Hello and welcome! My name is Keiru and welcome to my debut! I've prepared like a little slideshow so you can get to know me and kind of what I'm about, what I'm gonna be doing. So let's get started. So I have this little about me page. I am 23 years old. My birthday is March 27th. I am non-binary. My pronouns are they, them. I am from the United States. My OC's species is I am a kobold with like some gecko and other reptile characteristics. Languages that I speak some English, some Spanish, not very much, just a little bit, but I thought I'd include that there just in case. Just a little bit of scuff here, sorry. Okay. So languages, I speak English, like a little bit of Spanish, not a lot, but I thought I'd include it anyway. My favorite color is green. You're going to be seeing that a lot here. My character's green. All of my aesthetic stuff is going to be green. That's just how it's going to be around here. So if you don't like green, might not want to stick around. So some aesthetics that I like. How is there a feedback loop? I turned it off. What do I do? It's just my mic. What do I do? It's just my mic. No, just this on a... No, just this on a... Okay, how about now? Can you hear it now? Okay. Let me reset my VC face because I think it's wrecked. I'm fixing my VC face, hang on. Okay, a little bit of scuff. Okay, where was I? Some aesthetics that I like dark or vibrant academia. I like masculine presenting cottagecore, and some like goblin core stuff. I just really like grungy, like foresty, naturey, you know, dark natural colors sort of stuff. And next slide. So some fun facts about me. Keiru means frog in Japanese. So I was looking for words that started with K to alliterate with kobold. I knew I wanted the last name to be kobold. It just kind of made sense as like a furry VTuber to include like my species name in the name. So I was just like throwing stuff in like lizard and frog and bug and stuff. And Keiru just kind of jumped out at me and like stuck with me. I think it perfectly expresses like my love of frogs and like some stuff that I like about Japan. Like I really like anime, Japanese food, fashion, and like their architecture. And like I said it already, but I love frogs, and that's why I've made like my little stream pet mascot, Erwin, who is a red-eyed tree frog, who is like my favorite animal of all time. Ever since I was a little kid, I've like loved frogs. And someday I would like to make a like little TTS pet with him so that, you know, you can chat with me and have him talk and stuff. I think it'll be really fun. Irwin is named after Steve Irwin, who was like a huge influence and inspiration to me as a child. Like, I love that man so much, and it just kind of made sense to name my frog after him. And another fun fact is that Keiru is not my first Sona, they're actually my second. My first was like a fairly basic, like green and yellow dragon that also kind of used some other reptile elements because that's something I always liked. I will never have like a fur Sona. I'm definitely strongly in the scales team. Scalies! So you will never see me have an OC with fur, and if that ever turns out to be untrue, you can hit me. Another fun fact about me is that I am actually left-handed, and I did spend a lot of time figuring out how to set up the Spud tablet asset to reflect that, because I don't see a lot of like left-handed artist representation. I mean, I don't watch a lot of artists that aren't VTubers, but like amongst a lot of VTubers that use that Spud tablet, I don't really see any people that are left-handed using it. So I thought that'd be something nice, is just, you know, if you're also left-handed and want to see that rep, here I am, using it left-handedly. And next slide. So here is a picture of my ref sheet. I've got my name, I've got like my little color palette. I set it up like those are scales, and also like the horn color and like the little cheek spikes and like the inside of the mouth color and the eye color. I drew like the main body without glasses, but I added the glasses on there because they're kind of required. I really want them to be on there unless I'm doing like a really simple art style or something like that. I have like a giant gecko tail, like a leopard gecko tail, and leopard gecko spots, and I definitely wanted big old chonker ears, which I definitely wanted because I wanted to be like really cute and be able to be really expressive. So I definitely needed to have the big chonker ears. And I have like, they're called Puke wings. It's my favorite monster for Monster Hunter, and they have like a really cool, unique wing design. My ref doesn't really do it justice. I might redo the wings on that at some point, but they are like really cool wings. And if you don't know about Puke, he's like a chameleon dragon boy. He's really cool and fun. So I definitely wanted to incorporate some of that into my character. I included some of the types of clothes that I want to wear, so I really like fun patterned button-ups with like cool, silly, colorful patterns on them. So what I included was like the sky in SpongeBob. I thought would be really funny, and I matched that to like, you know, yellow suspenders and a yellow bow tie. And my idea is to have like different color button-ups and then have different colors of like bow ties and suspenders that match. And in like that little bottom corner there, I have a little picture of Erwin. I matched him to my color palette because that just kind of made sense and kind of seems to be something that a lot of people do when they have their little chat pet mascot guy. So I made his eyes pink instead of like the classic red to match the pink on my color palette. His orange hands are actually the kind of orangish yellow color of my eyes. And he has like the main dark green body and then the kind of yellow-green underbelly with some of like the blue on his arms, because red-eyed tree frogs have like some blue. So I think it's a pretty simple design, but I think it's effective and shows that he's like a red-eyed tree frog with just like my color palette. Next slide, let me move over a little bit here so you can see. Let me scooch over here. Oop. Just a second. Okay. So these are a couple art pieces that I commissioned like just after I finished my ref sheet and was like, okay, I need to collect the art now. So I've got this headshot piece by Silky Seal with like the big old chonker ears I definitely asked for and wanted on them. This piece by No Sai Harassment on Tumblr is like the main one that I use for like profile pictures and stuff, because I think it's kind of my favorite one. I feel like it speaks to like my personality and has my little froggy, and it makes just like a really good profile picture. So that's on most of my socials for now. And then the third one is, I think this looks like chewy to me, like a hard candy or soft candy, and the artist is called Crunchstrobs, which I think is like the best username to have to make like art in that style. It's like so good. I love all of these so much, and definitely a big shout out to the artists who made them. Super stoked to get them. And next slide. I have like a little list of like likes and dislikes here. Let me scooch back out of the way here so I can read them and you can see. So things that I like, the types of foods that I really like sushi, spaghetti, and burgers. I know those are all very different, but those are like my top 3, and whenever any of those come up, I'll gobble them down. Types of drinks that I really like marble sodas, which are also called ramune. I really love root beer, I love Arizona green tea, and I love boba tea. So those are my absolute faves. Places I would love to visit. I would love to see Japan, Ireland, Norway, and Australia. And I know, again, those are all very different countries, but they are ones that I kind of know the most about and find the most interesting and have done the most research in, and like their culture and like their history and stuff. And I think they would all be really cool and interesting places to visit if I ever get to like travel the world and see stuff someday. Regular places that I just kind of like to exist in. I really love like museums, parks, gardens, and like Ren fairs. I love Ren fairs most of all. I've only gotten to go to a couple, but they're just like a really cool place to just exist in. And you get to see all kinds of different people and like what they bring. Like there's dudes that show up looking like Vikings, and dudes showing up like knights, and like the critical role tieflings, and like the mushroom girls and the witches and stuff. And people, if there's one thing that brings everybody together at that Ren Fair, it's like this belief in like the fantasy and the magical, and all of them coming together turn it into like this magical place. I kind of gush. It is like something I really, really am passionate about. I love Ren Fairs. I need to go to more Ren Fairs. I already kind of touched on it, but like types of fashion that I like, just really any like kind of cute, soft, masculine outfits. Nothing like overtly feminine or overtly masculine, but like neutral to like soft mask is kind of my comfort zone. And I also really like cosplay. I haven't gotten to do a lot of cosplay, but it's something that's like pretty interesting to me that I'd like to do more when I have like more time and space and that sort of thing. It's just kind of difficult right now. The types of music that I like, so I say almost anything, and I know there's a lot of people that say I like almost anything, and it's only like 3 things, but I mean like literally anything. I will listen to like rock and rap and hip-hop and pop and like random other languages stuff. Like I like some Norwegian stuff and some Spanish stuff. Right now I mostly am liking folk music, like the Oh Hellos, and like EDM, especially with EDM. I like kind of Skrillex and Deadmau5 and Daft Punk are kind of my top 3 from like when I was in high school, and like dubstep and stuff was like really popular for like 3 years, like I think around 2015, and it just never really left me. I'm still addicted to that old music. Types of games that I like, I love tabletop role-playing games. Definitely still an emphasis on D&D, but I do play other TTRPGs. I did really like Call of Cthulhu. I've played Vampire at the Masquerade, The Witcher RPG. They're all really cool, and there's like a lot more that I would like to try at some point. There's definitely a pretty extensive list. I do have a starter set for the Avatar: The Last Airbender TTRPG, and I'm definitely excited to make like a really cool and interesting campaign in there. I am a DM, baby DM, but I'm having fun with it so far. Other game franchises I like Monster Hunter. I've already kind of mentioned that. I like a lot of cozy games. I like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, and I don't know if Zelda totally counts as a cozy game, but it is really cool to just wander around in there, and I like to take cool pictures. I've played Breath of the Wild. I have not played the new one. I would like to at some point. Would be really cool. I love Hollow Knight, and maybe we'll get the next one. Maybe, hopefully. And I just love game design. I did do a little bit when I was in college, and I would like to do it more, definitely. Maybe I'll make my own game at some point. You get to watch me do game dev streams. Who knows what's coming in the future. The main genres that I like, already kind of mentioned it with gushing about Ren Fairs, but I really do love like fantasy and magic-y stuff, but I also really love sci-fi. I am a Trekkie. I think I forgot to mention that in like the live action shows that I like, but The Next Generation I grew up watching like with my dad, so it's one of my favorite sci-fi franchises of all time. My favorite fast food place is Taco Bell. I love my Baco Hotel. I get like the same thing every time I go. I always get my Crunchwrap Supreme meal and a Baja Blast, because what else are you gonna drink when you go to Taco Bell but a Baja Blast? Arts and crafts that I really like fabric crafts, doll making. If you've ever seen those like custom dolls people do with like old Monster High dolls, or like literally making them from scratch with resin and stuff, I find those like so interesting. It's like really complex. I don't know if I could do it myself, but I love just watching them and like thinking up ideas for like what I would totally do if I ever got the chance to make my own. I'm interested in fursuit making. I did make a mini partial back when I was in college. It is currently collecting dust in my parents' basement. It was kind of janky, but it was definitely a fun project for me. I had a friend at the time that was like actively making them and made decent ones, like pretty good ones, and gave me some like scraps and stuff like that, and I kind of threw it together, and it turned out okay, and I got to go to one convention with it, which wasn't even a furry convention. It was like a general college convention, but it happened to be overrun by furries that year, which was hilarious. Especially since I went to that con with friends of mine that were not furries that were there for like, they were cosplaying as like, one of them was Captain America and Mercy from Overwatch and stuff, and they were just like, you had the best time there out of any of us, because it was just overrun with furries that year for some random reason. I'm also really interested mainly in like 2D art and like 3D modeling and texturing. I have like a really nice graphic design tablet that I had worked really hard and saved up for, I think a couple years ago now is when I got it. It still does me really, really well, and I don't intend to replace it anytime soon. I do my 3D stuff in Blender. I also do like my texturing in Blender. I haven't really used Substance Painter, especially since it's like a paid program. With the 2D art, I use Fire Alpaca, which is not a program I see people use very often, interestingly enough. So it would be interesting to see what people think when I start doing art streams and are like, what program are you using? Because nobody else uses it but me, I guess. Cartoons that I really, really like would be Steven Universe, Adventure Time, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Regular Show. Like, I think all of those are actually Cartoon Network shows, and I'm definitely more of a Cartoon Network kid than like Nickelodeon or Disney. I feel like Cartoon Network shows were less afraid, I think, to be like a little bit vulgar and a little bit edgy and a little bit, you know, out there, and had all sorts of like weirdness, especially Adventure Time, The Amazing World of Gumball, very experimental with some of the stuff they presented. Some of them really just raised an eyebrow at, like, why did they make these creative choices? But they're interesting anyways. My favorite movie franchise of all time, I love the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. They're like my favorite movies of all time. They're also comfort movies of mine whenever I'm like, you know, I'm feeling bummed out and I want to watch something that doesn't require a whole lot of thought or a whole lot, well, I guess emotion. It does make me cry, but they are comforts for me and I love watching them. Live action shows that I really, really like. I like Supernatural. Grimm, which is kind of like a Supernatural clone, but it was really good in its own right, and I will defend it to the death. I did really, really like Grimm. It was a little short-lived and a little bit rushed to the end, but I liked it overall. Really liked The Walking Dead. I watched it with my family ever since it first started coming out. It did kind of get a little slow there towards the end, but I mean, I think a lot of us just kind of stuck it through out of obligation, which is fine. I like started watching, I think it started coming out in 2010. I would have been 10 years old, so it was kind of a part of my life at that point to watch it. And I did really like Fringe. It's a bit of an older series, one that was introduced to me by my family a little bit later than like when it started airing. But that one really, really grew on me. Definitely love my sci-fi, as you can see. And like animes that I like, I already mentioned that I like anime, so I had to have this little list. I really love Dragon Ball Z. I was raised watching it, so it will still and always be forever in my heart as my favorite anime franchise of all time. It also has my favorite voice actor of all time who plays my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters, which is Piccolo and Vegeta. That voice actor is Christopher Sabat. And funny story, the second anime on this list that I love is My Hero Academia. The reason that I started watching My Hero Academia is because I had seen the announcement that Chris Sabat was cast as the English voice actor for All Might. And I had never even heard of this show before, but I knew he was in it and I knew he was in something new, and I'm like, I have to watch it just for that. And unfortunately, All Might isn't even my favorite character from My Hero. It's actually Hitoshi Shinso, if anyone was curious. Deku's my second fave, and Aizawa is my third fave. And another tangent, I actually met the voice actor, or current voice actor for Aizawa at a thing near us. He was like super sweet and cool, and we didn't feel rushed when we were there meeting him at all. He was like asking me questions, like what I thought of the show, like the new season had come out, like it wasn't even finished coming out yet. I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes in at that point, and he was like super excited, and he was still actively voice acting for it. Like he had to like go back to New York or whatever to record lines. It was crazy. But he was really fun, and I got like a little signed thing from him that I love, and is one of my most prized possessions. Another anime that I like is Demon Slayer. I'm the sucker most for the art style. I think Inosuke is my favorite character, but I also do really love Tanjiro. He's a sweet boy, and he deserves better than he gets in that terrible show. But the art style is so pretty, and the story is like really cool and interesting. Another one that I love is Death Note, but we don't talk about season 2. I am an L lover, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. And I also really love Chainsaw Man. I knew from the moment that sick-ass intro came on to that that I was going to like that show. And you can kind of tell from this lineup of my animes here that I am a sucker for animes with just banger intros. All of these have just absolutely like the best music intros, and they are the English intros that I am talking about, but I love them anyway. Or I guess Demon Slayer is not in English, but I do really love the cool intro songs, so there's that. Some of my dislikes, right-wingers. I'm non-binary, I don't think I need to elaborate on that. I hate mangoes. No offense to people who love mangoes, that's great. I just, for some reason, I can't get behind the flavor of them. The fruit itself, anything that is mango flavored, mango tea, or like mango drinks, I can't. It's like the one fruit that I cannot stand. I like love fruit and I love sugar, anything sweet, except them. I'm sorry, it's just for some reason. I really hate math. I'm definitely more of an English-brained person. I'm like pretty good at spelling and grammar and stuff like that. Math is definitely not my forte. Same with like coding and programming. I wrote Sob just because like as someone into like game design and game development, I'm definitely more of like I make the art assets stuff. I'm not really a coder or a programmer. I barely passed my C++ class in college. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. I also don't like weight painting that's for 3D models, if anyone doesn't know. That's how you get, like, when you're putting clothes on to actually make them form fit to the body, so like when you move your arms, they actually stick on there. It's ridiculously hard, at least to me. I bet experts find it really easy and think that I'm a dummy, and I probably am, but I don't like doing it. I wrote ew. And I don't like nonfiction stuff, like historical books and stuff like that. I don't really care. I'm like in it for like the fantasy or like sci-fi and like exploring stuff that doesn't exist or can't exist or maybe perhaps doesn't exist yet but could in the future. That's why I like sci-fi. Except, you know, like the really dystopian sci-fi, no thank you. But there is some optimistic sci-fi out there. Star Trek is a really optimistic sci-fi. I think that's why I like it more than a lot of others that are like, let's investigate this dystopian technological idea. And I'm like, okay, but Star Trek was like, what if cell phones? What if iPads? What if cool computers and stuff? And they even had like a little VR chamber when you think about it with the holodecks. It's like virtual reality simulations and stuff. So they predicted, I think, a lot of stuff in like a good way. Those are all good pieces of technology that we like benefit from. So that's the end of that. Next slide. Get to it here. Okay. A couple of hashtags for like just some general stuff. I have hashtag HeyRuKobold. I'll probably just use this in like my own posts or anything like related to me we can use to like keep it organized so that I can find it and stuff like that. If anyone ever decides to make fan art, I am by no means asking for this or expecting it or anything like that. But I do have set aside hashtag HeyRuKobold fan art. If you do ever make some, I would love to see it. So like, please don't hide it from me. I would really, really love to see it. I think that would be like the coolest freaking thing ever, and I would probably cry. And don't let that dissuade you from making it for me because it's tears of joy. I promise. Next slide. I have like a little list here of like my dreams and goals. So dream, goal, whatever you want to call it, of mine, I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Don't know if that's totally possible or obtainable or what the timeline on that looks like, but that is a goal that I've set aside. I wanted to have some numbers, just to have like down kind of on paper, to kind of hold myself accountable and like be able to check my progress and that sort of thing. Even if I don't obtain it, like that's okay. Just wanted to have something to shoot for. I would love to get monetized on YouTube for like my YouTube content once I'm able to like start making postings and stuff like that. I do have technically 2 videos right now. I did post my very short debut video, and I recently posted like a little speed draw, speed paint, whatever you want to call it, of me making my little Minecraft Sona character on like a website that lets you make your own custom Minecraft skins and have it uploaded and ready to go. And I would love to do like some Minecraft gaming streams sometime in the near future, probably like early to mid-January. It's a little complicated right now because we're in the middle of like the holiday season and that sort of thing. I lost my place. Oh, I would love to meet the goals to make Twitch affiliate and then like maybe partner. Mostly affiliate just because, and I'll show you on like a slide here pretty soon. I already made like some emotes and like channel points and like bits rewards and stuff. I already kind of went overboard with like a lot of the art. So like if you could help me get to affiliate just so I could do like the emotes and rewards that I already made so that I didn't make them for no reason, that would be really cool. And my, I think, main goal is just to make enough money from like my art commissions and streaming here and other content on like YouTube and like I don't know if TikTok has anything monetized, but like, you know, just all of that creative stuff that I do to get to be an artist full time and also have food in my fridge. Artists need to eat, and the job market's kind of really hard right now. I have been actively looking for like a real, I guess, quote unquote, real job. It's been a little rough. I think in the absence of having a real job was also though kind of my kick in the butt to like really start working towards this goal, to like be here and streaming and trying this. So we'll see how it works out and if it all turns out to be worth it, who knows. Another like dream and goal is to continue to improve my 2D and 3D art. And I would love to make my own like fully custom 3D VTuber model someday. I don't mean just like base retexturing and editing and stuff. I mean like full blown 3D modeled by hand and, you know, bone rigged by hand and, you know, the weight painting once I, you know, get over my fear of that and figure out how to do it. And be able to make it like fully custom to how I want, and probably do it with like, if I can ever do like the iPhone camera and have like the really good AR kit face tracking, be able to have it rigged up for that so that it's like super expressive and detailed and stuff, which is kind of my next thing I wrote, is commission my dream model for VR chat and VTubing with the full AR kit suite. Whichever comes first, to honestly, either commissioning it or making it myself, just to have that like dream model of mine that is like super expressive and adorable and interactive and stuff would be really, really cool. And lastly, I would love to befriend other VTubers. I have actively started joining like some communities and talking and stuff. I don't have any plans for it, but I would like love to get to participate in collabs with people and like build those groups and like build those friendships and stuff. So that is another goal of mine. And next slide. Here's a little list I made of all of like, oh, let me move myself. I'm in the way again. Kayru, why you gotta be in the way of stuff? People gotta see. Here, I'm gonna hide. Maybe not completely. You get my eyes. There you go, you get my eyes. So I have my like little thank you emote for like subscribers. I did these and didn't realize I couldn't do this until I got to affiliate. And I made like the little thank you with a present box for like gift subs. I have this like new follower little pop-up for when I get new followers. This one is active right now. I have one for like I do have a throne set up. Again, not asking or expecting anything, but if anyone did ever want to send me stuff, I would be so grateful, and I do have like a little thing already set up to pop up if and when that ever happens. I have like this funny little like me holding a sword for when there's raiders, because whenever I heard of like raids, this is kind of the image that immediately popped into my head, is like, there's a raid, like get the swords. So I thought that'd be like a funny little icon to have pop up. I have one for like, I would love to have like a channel points redeem for like drink water, because I do actively forget to feed and water myself and would love to have channel points redeems for that. So I actually used as a reference that painting of a baby dragon holding a bottle of Tabasco sauce with like a little baby bottle nipple on it. So I took that and kind of drew over it, and it's me holding a water bottle. I thought was like pretty good, pretty funny, and like a little reference. Another one that's kind of like a meme is, if you've ever seen that meme image of like hold pigeon gentle like hamburger, and then somebody had drawn like a dragon instead. It was like hold dragon like hamburger. I took that and kind of did like a draw over like heavy reference to it for like an emote, so it'll be like hold kobold gentle or something like that. I haven't really picked out emote names for these yet. And like I ended up, I had started with this one, and I decided I didn't really want to use white as default. I thought would be like kind of wrong. So I made like different versions with like different skin tones that have like, so they have variations and stuff I thought would be cool. So that's something that I wanted to include rather than like use white as default or have it like literally paper white, like the white in here. I definitely wanted to have some variation there if there was going to be hands involved, just, you know, for inclusivity. It's important to me. And then I have like a little emo gif of Irwin. It's that image set, if you've ever seen it. I think it was viral on Tumblr for a little while of like this little cutie frog blinking, and I think it also just perfectly captures like how I see Irwin, the cutie little frog boy. And you know, I wrote this handsome lad will be a stream pet with TTS eventually, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. Again, nothing's ever set in stone. And then of course, last but not least, how could I forget and not do the caramel dance and dance. And for this one, I went all in with like the kind of MS Paint style. Now, I did not make this in MS Paint. I actually I did open MS Paint and see if I could do it in there, and I genuinely have no idea how people did anything in there. I just went in my regular art program and turned off the anti-aliasing to get that MS Paint look, and I like took all of the colors of my color palette and like cranked them up to 11 to capture kind of that bright, you know, eye-killing art style of like those old MS Paint animations, so I hope that I captured that perfectly. I love how it turned out myself. Next slide. So you're probably wondering, okay, well that's all in good, Keiru, but what do you actually do? Why do we care? So here's my streaming categories and, you know, what I'll be doing and what you can catch me doing. I want to have like gaming streams. I want to do like a lot of like cozy games and like RPG. So like in cozy games, I'd love to do Stardew Valley at some point. I would love to do Animal Crossing. I would like to get a capture card so I can play them on my Switch, because I already have Stardew Valley on my Switch. I'd rather not get the PC version so that I don't spend any extra money. I would love to do, like, in terms of, like, RPGs, like Skyrim and Zelda and stuff like that, I think would be really fun and cool. I just love places where I can do, like, a lot of either just, like, cozy game stuff. I love a lot of farming games, and, like, RPGs. I love just getting to walk around and explore, like, cool environments and collect stuff and stuff like that. And TTRPGs, I don't know if I'll ever get to do, like, TTRPGs, like, on here. Like, maybe with some other VTubers, we do like a little VTuber D&D game or something I think would be really cool. Again, I don't have any actual plans in the works for that, but it's definitely something that I'm open to in the future. And I will definitely be doing art streams. I'll be doing probably mostly 2D drawing like stuff, commissions, or like I would love to do some streams where I just do like a random character design. Also makes for good YouTube content. I will also probably be doing some like 3D modeling, texturing stuff, probably mostly textures, because that's kind of my comfort zone when it comes to doing 3D stuff. Texturing for like my own characters, or like if I get commissions to do them for other people. And then in that kind of 3D category, maybe in the future, some like a game dev stuff would be cool. And then the last one I have set aside is like, I call it politics, but like, don't freak out, calm down, let me explain what that means. When I say that, I mean mostly the things that I'm passionate about in terms of that are like environmentalism, education, and like LGBTQ plus rights stuff, like social justice type stuff. So with environmentalism, you know, like they're making a new pipeline and, you know, the Native Americans who own that land are really mad about it. I might talk about it, you know, in terms of education, like, you know, they're trying to ban XYZ books, or, you know, that sort of stuff, and stuff like gay rights and trans rights and stuff like that I would like to talk about and stuff. So nothing super crazy contentious, just like, here's a thing going on in the world and I'm mad about it. But those will be like separate streams. I'm not going to talk about that stuff on like gaming or art streams, so if that's not something you're interested in, that's totally fine. You're not going to be forced to participate if you don't want to. I did write "don't freak out" on the slide. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know, crazy about this. I don't think I need to elaborate much on that. And then I have this little slide, meet the models. So these are the models that I currently have. So you've already met my main one. That is the BGB, that stands for Bubblegum Bark Kobold, which is made by Beetleyin. I did the texturing and some base edits. The main base edits that I did, I made the big chunky gecko tail. It's kind of a more normal looking tail on the main base, so I kind of rounded it out a bunch and made it big and chunky and stuff. I sized up the ears and made edits to the ears to make them like smooth, because the longer ears kind of come to a point, and I wanted them to be like more soft and rounded out, so I did some rounding out. And the hands and feet were just like a little bit big for my comfort, so I sized those down a little bit. So very minor base edits, but I did them. I thought that warranted mention. And then this was the first one that I ever made, the Chibi Caboodle by Nicarita. I didn't actually know until very recently that there were blend shapes to turn off the fur, so the VRM does still have like the fur. It doesn't look too bad. I don't really know if I'm going to be using this one, or if I do, how often I'll be using it. But I figured, you know, it deserved a mention. And I did do the texturing myself. That's one of the first models that I ever textured. And I was still kind of continuing the hunt for like my perfect kobold model, and that's when I ended up finding the BGB kobold, and that's the one I wanted to move forward with. And I also made like a little PNG tuber. This is just one image still from it, but it is fully animated. I did also start trying to play with like having different expressions and emotions, because the program that I have for the PNG tuber is VODs Mini, which allows you to have different states and stuff for like emotes. But it kind of ended up being a little complicated, so I kind of dropped that for now. I might continue trying to add detail to that later. But I knew I definitely wanted it for, you know, just in case I ever get to do like a collab sort of thing, that, you know, they have like the little PNG of me in the corner so you can tell when I'm talking and stuff. So I figured that was something I needed to make. So I made them. And that is the end of my slideshow. So I hope you liked it, and I want to show off some of my super cool stream panels and stuff that I made. I have like a cool little transition stinger animation that I made that you'll see probably a couple times that I'm really proud of. So say goodbye to the debut screen, because I'm not going to be using that anymore. From now on I have a stream starting screen, so I will show you that right now. Nice cool little stinger pull down animation. So there is the stream starting soon screen. It's a little bit janky, but I'm proud of it. It took me a really long time to get even just to that point. I might have someone redo that for me to make it smoother later, but I'm happy with it for now. And next screen, I'll show you my Be Right Back screen. So this one, I included like a little chat box. I have like a in the meantime, what's Keiru thinking about? And I actually have the Twitch alerts set aside in that little speech bubble or little thinking bubble, just so it could be something funny people do with like redeems and stuff. Like, what am I thinking about? I thought would be kind of fun. And the last one I have is my stream ending screen, so I'll show you that now. So here is my ending screen. So this is gonna play at the end of every stream. It's just like me napping, you know, glasses folded up next to my face. I wanted to have like a little bit of motion, so I included like the little ZZZ for like napping, and like a little ear twitch I thought would give it some personality, so I definitely wanted to include that. And that's it. Just a second, where is it?